Good morning. You're listening to the first episode of the Mandovibes podcast. Boop. Hi, everyone. Thank you for dropping in and listening to this very first episode of the Mandovibes podcast. It's going to be shorter than typical. The typical podcast episodes will probably be more closer to half hour to an hour, maybe longer than that if I end up having a specifically interesting guest on. So this is just kind of a little intro to myself and what I do, and giving you a little intro to what the actual podcast is going to be about, which is going to be a lot. Pretty much. So my actual full name, Armando Salas. I go by online Mandovibes. That's my Instagram handle and my YouTube channel. I'm just kind of more getting into doing the YouTube scene, putting more of my music up, doing more with composing. I write music. I've been writing music since probably seventh grade, so I was about 10-ish years old. Started writing on Finale, if you're familiar with that program. Since use a lot of other programs. Still use Finale, use GarageBand now too to compose more of the video game music and the film music that I do. That's kind of like my main interest, although I write all kinds of music. I write everything ranging from music for marching bands, pep bands, jazz band. I love writing for concert, orchestral, things like for quartets, so like more chamber music. I've written a lot of saxophone quartets, quintets, arrangements of different things, again for marching band, different things like that. I was involved heavily with marching band when I was in high school and in college. I did 4 years in high school here in Arizona, and then 4 years in college at the U of A, University of Arizona in Tucson, Arizona. But I'm now currently residing in Phoenix, Arizona, specifically Glendale, Arizona, one of those the west side of Arizona. I currently teach music lessons. I teach my main instrument of saxophone and also clarinet and flute as well. I'm starting to get into teaching other various instruments that I teach as well. I also love the native flute. I love playing the didgeridoo. So that wasn't an actual didge. That was me doing that with my mouth. I also do beatbox, as you heard a little bit at the beginning of me doing there. What else do I do? I also got into playing the ukulele. I sing. I also play the piano. I love doing percussion, different kinds of things like that too. I have a bunch of different shakers that I like using for performances and gigs. I perform around town for the last probably year or so. Not so much recently. I was performing in a jazz trio, kind of, I guess, more, I don't know, free jazz, avant-garde jazz trio called Solomon Trio. We now just perform kind of occasionally. If a really good gig comes up, or we still actually have an event that we play for called Yoga Jazz that takes place downtown, more like in Central Phoenix. That's going to be starting up again here soon, probably in the next 2 months or so. I believe our next one actually might be coming up in February or the beginning of March, but I'll keep you guys updated on that too. It's a free event, really cool. We work with Donna and Ashley, who do their dirt yoga, and they also partner with various nonprofits and groups around town to sponsor the events themselves. It's supposed to be kind of, about community and bringing people together, to celebrate, obviously, the community and yoga and music and all that cool stuff. to bring everyone together. So that's going to be coming up again soon. I also work over at the MIM, the Musical Instrument Museum. Actually, we refer to it more as MIM rather than the MIM. So if you talk to us inside, we'll usually say something like, oh, how was your day at MIM versus the MIM? Kind of almost like a country, right? At Europe, or you're going to Europe, how was your trip in Asia? So that's an amazing place. If you've never been there before, you got to check it out. Coming up this weekend is going to be Experience Hip Hop, which is super cool because the 10-year anniversary for the museum is coming up this year in April. It opened in April of 2010. It's now 2020, so 10 years, a decade full of memories or memories. Hundreds upon hundreds of concerts, and thousands of people checking it out from all parts of the world. It's really cool because I work in the store there. I get to meet people on a daily basis that are musicians, artists, just really cool people just to chat with. I've met people from, Ireland, Scotland, Canada, Mexico, Korea, Australia. Probably almost every part of the world that you can possibly think of. Africa, they've got the exhibit for the African instruments there as well, from the Congo, masks and music from the Congo. So that's also amazing. So just a ton of awesome stuff going on. And this podcast in particular is going to be one that encompasses a lot of different things. So I'm a musician, so I'll talk about things related to music, writing music, but I also have a lot of friends that are involved in other aspects, other things too. So I'm going to be having guests on to talk about music, films, anime, video games, social topics, health, healing practices, yoga, personal habits, men's health, women's issues, things just going on socially, culturally in the world. We might just have some people to get together and just talk about whatever, just something for fun. I also, everything that I do is involved with music and art and sound. So I also am very much into doing voice acting and doing voiceover. So I do impressions and like to do various things with my voice, as you heard, doing singing, the beatbox, doing random sounds together. So imitating instruments, as you heard, like the didge. So you'll hear a lot more of that stuff coming up. I'll have other people that also do a lot of those things as well. I have other friends that in town in Arizona and in the area also do various podcasts on other elements too. Movies, horror movies, love horror movies, Netflix. So this is going to be a super diverse channel, mostly focusing on things having to do with music, but branching out to all these other areas too. Kind of just going freestyle right now. I didn't write any of this stuff down. This is the first time I'm doing a podcast. So I'm kind of branching into the scene. I've been doing more kind of with my YouTube channel, and I've been doing more getting my music out there. This past year I released my first kind of published video game music album that's called Mega. You can look it up on Spotify, iTunes, under just Mega, or probably better if you just look under Mandovibes, Mandovibes, all things Mondo and vibes, and I'll talk about that too. So the name Mandovibes actually has two meanings. So obviously my name, Armando, or shortened, right, Mondo, but the word Mondo, Mondo, N-D-O. Mondo actually, I think of it as kind of like a surfer word, like saying, Mondo, cool, man, all right. Like, but the word Mondo actually in and of itself means something that's striking to the senses. So something being Mondo amazing or Mondo cool is kind of emphasizing that it's striking or hits our senses in a strong, amazing way. And then vibes, obviously meaning vibrations. So Mondo Vibes has the dual meaning of Mondo meaning myself and my vibes or my vibrations, the music that I make, but also that the music in and of itself, the sounds themselves, the vibes are Mondo, meaning Mondo vibes. So, meaning that I create Mondo vibes. So, Mondo vibes creates Mondo vibes. Whoa, your mind's like totally blown, bro. Oh, yeah. So there's just a little background. Probably going to get going here. I'm going to be having some guests on for the next few episodes. So stay tuned for that. A lot of cool stuff coming up. Hope you guys still keep listening to my stuff. Again, you can find me on Instagram under Mondo Vibes, one word. My YouTube channel, Mondo Vibes as well. MANDOVIBES, all one word. You can also check out my website, www.armandojsalas, ARMANDOJSALAS.com. Got some videos, more links up there as well. Thanks for checking in the first episode of the Mondo Vibes podcast, and I will go ahead and check you all later.